Number 4 is another duo, which I think it's kind of impossible to separate this duo and look at them as two separate characters. I mean, that's for me personally. It's like looking at, it's like Cyclops not having Jean and Jean not having Cyclops, the way these two have been written into the Remnant storyline and how integral they've become to the Remnant stories. Kaylee and Alex, Pink Spade and Flameshot, which are the actual names I call them. I just like these two are like, well, it's my top 8 list. These two are in my favorite characters that I've covered from all the comics thus far. Like, I've gone to the point that I am currently, well, not currently, I've taken a break from that project for a little while, but I am in the process of creating a top-down Christian shooter based on their solo comic issue together from Parables of the Remnant, issue 4, where they were tasked with dismantling the reactor of the secret island for this AI system that is sanctioned and working alongside with the Antichrist. Yeah, it's that wild. Stories get that wild sometimes. But some official background information on the characters that can be found on the Remnant Wiki. We would start with Pink Spade, who is the daughter of an army general and pastor and gymnast mother. What is gymnast? Gymnast mother. Pink Spade wasn't your typical church girl. Raised to be tough, God-fearing, and feminine, Kaylee Owens was a force to be reckoned with. While passing out Bibles in one fateful day, she would run into a mortally wounded Flameshot on the street. Nursing him back to health, the two fell in love. Flameshot trained her to be the heroine known as Pink Spade. Pink Spade is currently a valued member of the superhero group, the Tribulation Task Force. I think I do need to go back and update the official information on that wiki eventually. Just time. There is not enough hours in the day. I think rain is falling right now as well. Oh boy. How's the weather for some of you guys? I am going on a tangent. Flameshot's backstory is a bit more detailed. Alex Conley, aka Flameshot's history, is a tale of abuse and anger. Alex was brought up in a household of chaos. Mother and father both being heroin addicts, Alex learned at an early age how to fend for himself. Disgusted with his family's situation, Alex fled his home at the age of 13 and ran away to LA. Living on the streets of LA was not easy, but Alex survived by conning locals and stealing what he needed to survive. Alex's luck will one day change when he picked the pocket of a high-ranking crime boss named Anthony Sadducee. Rather than punishing Alex, Sadducee admired his bravery and became a mentor and father figure to him. Under Sadducee's tutelage, Alex became not only a master criminal, but highly skilled with a variety of weapons. Alex became known and feared in the underground crime scene. His life would take another unexpected turn when he discovered Sadducee was secretly running a child trafficking ring, which used runaway kids for secret experiments. Unnerved by his findings, Alex confronted his mentor, who revealed that Alex was also a victim of these secret experiments. After exposing this information, Sadducee pulled out his gun in an attempt to kill Alex. In a state of heightened emotions and fear, Alex manifested flamethrowing abilities. Unable to control these new volatile powers, Alex accidentally killed his former mentor. Alex soon asserted himself as a new boss of the crime ring. After dissolving the experiments at child trafficking, Alex disappeared from the underground world, taking on a new identity and a job as an overseas military mercenary. Alex lived a life of volatility and death. Upon returning to the United States for a break, he met Kaylee Owens praying for people on the streets of LA. Intrigued by her selflessness and compassion, Alex went and talked to her. It was love at first sight. The two would eventually get married. Upon news of his wife's pregnancy, Alex returned from business and had a change of heart. Alex and his wife eventually became superheroes who were recruited by the Tribulation Task Force, aka the Remnant. I do believe I have to go back and change what the information on the Remnant Wiki. But what I love about Alex and Kaylee, not only that they are honestly Christian couple goals in my opinion, but just the way how they how they fit into the Remnant story. Like they're like the Remnant, at least for most of the issues that I have covered, they're your classic they're, they're a classic like Avengers Justice League style group. But with Alex and Kaylee, especially the family aspects of it with their son Blue Flame, who in Blue Flame Issue Zero, which was a 5 out of 5 rating comic on our judgment scale, their son Blue Flame took has Alex's powers, and those powers manifested when he began to as he grew older, and instead of following in his family's footsteps and becoming a superhero being raised by Christian superheroes, he decided that he wants to go on side with the Antichrist and become one of the Antichrist's what do you call them? I think it's the Watchers is in the Remnant story. Yeah, we became a Watcher, and it's been like a major rift with Alex and the rest of the team. That in Blue Flame issue 0, the back issue that was written by the one and only Don Perkage, one of my favorite writers for the Remnant. I love his stories. They were discussing on the whole thing of putting family and faith first over the superhero duties and public relations. And I like that issue, that conversation where Man of War was trying to pull up the story of the prodigal son, where Alex and Kaylee were talking about it from the perspective of the prodigal son, that they would accept and love their son regardless of what he has done if he comes back to them. But Man of War was mainly on the perspective that it's not about him coming back, it's about the perception that people are going to have on your son, especially towards the group. Like, then they went in on I just really liked how Don did that issue. I'm not gonna do a re-review of it, but it's just how the husband and wife, mother and father of the Remnant, on they're just the way how they're written, especially when I haven't seen them not together in an issue as yet, like, or written separately in any of the Remnant issues that they've appeared in. Yeah, I haven't seen them written separately, and the way they're written, I just keep saying the way they're written. I hope I'm not being redundant here, but just the way they're written in the issues that they appear in, it's really great. The way Evan David did them in Parables of the Remnant issue 4 was like, okay, I definitely have to go check out Evan David's stuff, because this was, in my opinion, at the time when I covered it, that was Esther writing for the Remnant. Especially how we went into how they met and how the flashback of how they became a couple, and while Pink Spade is running out on the field and fighting against the Robotron sentries after Alex got shot and had to stay back in the cave because he couldn't go out on the field. He is literally like praying to God that his wife accomplishes the mission as she runs in solo against hordes of robots. Like, that is the kind of writing I like in my Christian fiction, and that's why I love Alex and Kaylee, Pink Spade and Flameshot. And we have been going along with our top-down shooter game that is inspired by the events of Parables of the Remnant issue 4, which I think, for those of you that are watching the video podcast, the YouTube video version of the podcast, you would see the gameplay of the most recent version of that. I do have a devlog plan to release for that update, as well as to make this version of the game playable for free download. It's just there has not been enough hours in the day nor in the week for me to get around to that with my schedule currently, which is why you're getting a Ramble X kind of video, because I just wasn't feeling to actually script something this week. But yeah, that's number 4 with Alex and Kaylee. I can refer to them as Alex and Kaylee more than the actual hero names. It just has a ring. Alex and Kaylee, Flameshot, and Pink Spade. One of my 4 favorite characters that I have covered within the past 54 comic issues of Christian themed comics we have reviewed.